On the road looking for a win against a Western Conference rival, the San Antonio Spurs are ready for this thing to get started. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan to call the game with our analysts Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And breaking down the game right now, let's take a look, guys, at the prophet.
He's very savvy in traffic. When he gets inside, has a kind of an uncanny way of shielding himself from contact and finding a way to finish at the rim.
What I love about watching him play, Steve, is his terrific agility and body control. Even with the multiple defenders closing in, he contorts his body at angles that really give him a chance to make shots from weird positions all the time.
Taking a look at Utah, they have been riding the bottom end of the middle of the Western Conference, 11th place right now.
Well, things have not gone their way at all in the first two games they've played against these guys this season. Losing 3 in a row would be really tough to take. Now is the time when they want to put a stop to that.
Well, a lot of pride on the line here, clearly, Steve. I mean, you don't want the embarrassment of not being able to pull this one out. So we'll see what they've learned from the prior 2 losses and see if they can get the script flipped.
San Antonio with the ball, following the three-pointer by Utah. To the paint, here's Clarkson. Can't get it to go. Nice D from Sohan. Roberts dishes to Jones. Pass to Wembanyama. Nice defense from Collins. Last game for the Spurs, they picked up the W against the Jazz in Salt Lake City.
And they did just what you have to do as a road team. Guys, they never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Seemed like every time they took a punch, they had a counter.
You'll like this, Steve. Reverse spurtability, we call that. They had any defensive lapses, they immediately made up for it with some instant offense.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Kevin, the head coach for the Jazz gave me just a couple of moments to catch up with them. He knows they've struggled to get a win against this team, 0-2 so far this season. And he said, they're really a difficult team to defend. They have guys who can flat out score. So we've just got to individually and collectively embrace the challenge of pushing them into an off night. Kevin, let's see if they've got what it takes.
Okay, Doris, appreciate the report, and coach is playing here tonight. A good one, guys.
In theory, yes. I mean, they're up against a team that can put up points in a hurry, so defense has to be a priority. We'll see if they can execute that game plan.
Well, you said it, Steve. I mean, this is an opponent that will test your resolve. You got to stay the course and you can't vacillate much. You're going to have to absorb some body blows if you want to come out on top.
To end the run, the shot no good. So for the Jazz, their last game a loss to San Antonio.
Yeah, they look totally disjointed. And sometimes you have a night like that. Nothing goes in the basket. It's just pure frustration.
Well, you can call it any number of things, Steve. Disjointed, disorganized, discombobulated, dysfunctional. Any of those would fit.
Here's Roberts after the basket by Utah. And there's the pass to Wembanyama. Kicks it to Roberts. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Wembanyama. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. Shot by Roberts, no good.
Well, I hope they start getting warmed up here soon. That's 0 for 4 to this point.
Clarkson. Utah gets it back. The feed to Collins. And that one's good. Collins has got 6.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best.
Hammer time! Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark? Brilliant throwdown.
Yeah, just exerting his authority out there.
They set the pick. Nice ball movement by Utah. He was all alone on that one.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Here's Roberts. What a tremendous game he played against Utah.
The defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
And that's a foul called on the Prophet. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul. Second team foul.
First quarter play and just over 3.5 minutes in. Number 24.
Well, you know, it doesn't seem like they've missed many shots here.
He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Excellent work to turn that miss into 2 points on the tap in.
Hustle points, I believe they call that.
Had great instincts, too. I mean, just anticipating where the ball is heading. Great job there, beating everybody else to the ball.
They get the rebound. And it's good. Fought through contact, gets the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out. That's the result you get right there.
That's good from Mbiniama. You're right, they've been shooting lights out here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and Kevin, they're playing with tremendous confidence right now.
Jazz leading by 6. Here's Clarkson. From outside, off the mark. For San Antonio, they've gotten 3 of 8 shots to fall for them here in the first quarter. Up and in on the layup. 6 points for the Prophet.
Well, he's so good at recognizing where the openings are and getting the ball to the rim.
Off his leg, and the ref saying he kicked it. Dishes it to Collins. Floats a runner. Bank shot, no good. Spurs trail by 4. Mbiniama the pass to Roberts. He passes it to Sohan. Jones, pocket 6. Collins grabs the miss. It's Mbiniama. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. 7 points in the game.
You know, he's really adept at keeping possessions alive by hitting the boards and cashing in on some of those putbacks.
And here's another thing I've noticed. You know, sometimes at the defensive end, he'll come out of nowhere to make a play on the ball, blocking a shot from behind when the shooter had no idea he was there.
He has just disappeared this quarter, not making a mark at all offensively.
And I'm sure he's ready to put this quarter behind him and quickly. You know, the defense that time was just content to stay out of the way. I mean, no resistance at all. They let him do exactly what he wanted to right there.
Steve, no one but 2 anxious to take him on.
No, you know, guys, I think that speaks to his strength and his agility. I mean, he's not a guy you want to stand in the way of as a defender.
So set. Here's Roberts. Edwards defending. Shot by Roberts, no good. And that's a foul called on the Prophet. That's foul number 2 for him. San Antonio making a switch here. Jazz leading by 11. On the floor for San Antonio, Roberts in a 2-guard. He's out there with Jones, and it's Hamilton in at the 4. Mackubex defended by Mbiniama. No good from Mackubex.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Here's Roberts. It's hauled in by Edwards.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey guys, the Prophet in their last game against the Jazz got down to business. He had 43 points, and he tallied those points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. Just numbers that really jump out at you in a box score.
Great, Doris. Thanks. Any chance we see him top that performance at Clark here tonight?
I'd say no chance, partner. And that's not a knock against him. It's just that he was so good that night, I don't think he can possibly do it 2 games in a row.
He was Kelloggian. Is that a word? We can use that word.
It is now.
Oh, look at Steve. He didn't like that, though. Look at him.
And let's just say he was really good.
There's the pick. Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. 6 to shoot. Here's Clarkson. Utah the rebound. Markkanen, defended by Roberts. Here's Markkanen. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
What a play. The hoop plus the harm.
Excellent concentration on the finish. That's big time.
And now we'll get a perspective here on the hustle game, how it's been going for the Jazz.
Early on, guys, excellent work on the boards here. I mean, you got to like those second chance points they're getting.
Yeah, I do too, and I think they're also getting some good looks in transition, doing a nice job of running the floor.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question, and that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted, the aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
That's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
Smooth as silk on the finger roll. He's got 11.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Spurs trail by 11. He feeds it to Roberts. With the lead pass.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Yeah, but there was some style there, Kev. It was a pretty sweet one-handed flush.
Here's Clarkson. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. And the Jazz lead by 12.
You got to respect him out there. He can hit that shot.
Sohan passes to Roberts. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Roberts got 13.
He had to wait for a while, all the way until now. But he finally got his first three-pointer of the game. The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
Oh, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, I mean, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
From downtown, and they will call over the back on the play.
That's the risky run.
So it's San Antonio now. 8-point game. Kicks it out to Johnson. The dish now to Roberts. Pass to Wembanyama. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for two. Well, some great passers have come into the league this season. Let's see which rookies are tops in assists. Look at the Prophet, an uncommonly gifted passer, leading the league in assists.
And as the freshman class goes, he's got the highest basketball IQ of anybody. That's why he's at the top of those assist rankings.
Yeah, we would say he's got a geezer's game, old man game. He sees the court like a vet. Sometimes I forget that he's only a rookie.
George. Here's Tucker, and again it's Utah.
He got off to a slow start. It took him a little while to get into the flow of this game, but he's turned it on here in the second.
Johnson kicks to Roberts. Good, it's Johnson with the assist that time. 18 points for the Prophet.
Man, he has been their unquestioned leader offensively this quarter.
Outside, George. Base back to George. Just 5 to shoot. Edwards passes to Tucker. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. San Antonio making a switch here. Graham with the ball. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Here's Roberts. 1 second left. That's good on the jump shot. Now it's just a 3-point Jazz lead.
He could have forced a tough inside shot, but made a terrific kick out to find the open jumper instead.
And we're through 2 here and a good one. Utah out in front. They lead by 3. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
Now, presented by Sprint.
We're happy to be with you this Tuesday night. Keep it here on
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Just an amazing game for the Prophet. 18 points, and he's come up with a couple of nice steals today, too.
Well, he's been playing a very energetic brand of defense, Clark. You got to love it.
Collins, a screen on Jones. That's a foul called on the Prophet. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
That's his 3rd personal foul. First team foul.
And the Jazz with possession. 3-point lead. Six on the shot clock. Here's Markkanen. Stolen.
You know, they've done a lot of things right in this game, but one thing they have to improve on is their ball security.
They've been lucky. They've had a lot of turnovers, but some of those mistakes just haven't come back to haunt them, but that could change in a hurry.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the court right now for the Spurs, Roberts. He's in at shooting guard. He's out there with Jones, and it's Wembanyama in at the center, locking down the middle.
Well, you can count on him, can't you? He seems to knock down free throws consistently all game long.
And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. 10 points for him.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Well, that's important because this game, I think, is going to be decided by who controls the paint in crunch time. Boy, that was impressive, Clark. He did not hesitate to take the ball right up against the bigger defender.
Boy, I like that aggressive mindset there, Steve.
That one drops. He ties it up. Jazz shooting it very well tonight, around 57%. Clausen defended by Roberts. He kicks it to Collins. Shot clock at 6. It's rebounded by Sohan. Spurs shooting well. They're at 45%. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Sexton. That's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will retain possession.
And now we've got a moment to see how the Jazz are doing ranking-wise, Kevin. 4th in blocks, 11th in rebounding. And the shooting number's a bit woeful. Just top 20 in the league in field goal percentage.
This is a team, Clark, and you talked about the shot blocking. This is a team that really has become a defensive-minded group. They rotate well, they cover up for one another, and when somebody does get to the rim, it seems like they've got a lot of guys coming over from the weak side to protect the rim.
Spurs trail by 3. First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Sohan passes to Roberts. Sohan, he's guarded by Collins. Clock at 6. Here's Roberts. No good. And it's Utah the other way. Home court didn't seem to help any last time they met. We'll see if it makes a difference this time.
I think their attitude going into that game was all wrong. And I think they believed what was being said about them. It was a game they couldn't win, and they just didn't have any confidence.
I'm not going to go with you on that one, Steve. I don't agree with that. I think they believed in themselves. I just think the talent difference between the teams is far too much for them to overcome.
And that one's good. Jazz leading by 4. Sexton defended by Jones. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And he'll scrape and claw for everything he gets out there. That's what I respect about him, just his sheer effort level.
And I know he's a fan favorite because he can catch fire immediately at any point in the ball game and just start pouring it in from all over the place.
Johnson, he's checked in for Gaudla. Sohan passes to Johnson. Offline with his three.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
That drops. And the Jazz lead by 7.
That's pretty much been the norm for them, getting their points off assists and great ball movement.
Nice rhythm and flow for this team. Tremendous communication and alertness.
And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. It's blocked. Sexton, defended by Jones, and out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. Well, games so often come down to free throws, and when that's the case, these are the players you want at the line. The best free throw shooting two guards in the NBA. Look at the Prophet, second in the NBA. So great from the line.
Yeah, this is a set of players that can drive and slash, hoping to draw contact, because if they can get to the bucket and the foul, it's an automatic three-point play.
And you know what, Steve? Even if some calls go against them, you know, as a coach, you can accept it because when the calls go their way, they're automatic. Cash money at the stripe, ATM time. So it more than makes up for the charge calls they might get whistled for.
Spurs trail by 5. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. Johnson dishes to Roberts. That's good. Roberts got 11 in the second half.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet. Come on, box it out, man.
Here's the screen. Here's Sexton. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
San Antonio making a switch here. Collins is checked in. He dishes it to Roberts. They swipe it. And it's rejected. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Jazz.
I'll tell you what, they've hit the boards hard in this one, and it's led to an abundance of second-chance points. I mean, they've gotten a lot of second-chance points.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
Both free throws good from Roberts. Jazz leading by 3. Pass to Collins. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Collins has got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
Little touch of class there, guys. Oh, man, that was unreal.
Mark it up. Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, startling that he'd even try that right now.
Here's Clarkson. No good with the triple.
They've been able to get out to this lead without really getting a very reliable performance out of him from the field.
Here's Roberts. No good. That would have tied it.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's getting late in the season. Let's see how the standings are out west. Taking a look at San Antonio. Right now, they're locked into 3rd place in the conference, looking to get a high seed for the playoffs. And, of course, the Jazz. Not in the same realm right now in terms of their record.
When I look at San Antonio, they've been the story of the regular season in my mind, smashing expectations and really taking the league by storm.
Yeah, they've been impressive, no doubt about it. Among the league's best as we approach the postseason.
Utah leading. Now, here is George. He's got 7. High, arcing shot. Here's Roberts. Very pretty alley-oop layup. And the Spurs lead by 1. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for San Antonio.
Now, we've seen them make that extra effort rotating from the weak side, closing out on their airspace, really sending shots back.
And, guys, I think you've got to give them credit for the number of steals they've taken away. I mean, a lot of effort on the defense from them tonight. Really good awareness right there on the assist.
The Spurs have gone 6 of 10 from the field in the third quarter. Doubled by Tucker. Here's Barlow. That's good.
Assistant.
There's 1:38 left to play in the third. Feeds to George. The pass to Hendricks. Back to George. Six to shoot. Kicks to Tucker. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down. Tucker's got 10 points in the game. San Antonio's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Doubled by Tucker. Pass out, defended by George. Here's Roberts. Passes it to Nanopoulos. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Let's take a moment now, Kevin, to see how the Spurs are doing in the NBA statisticals currently. First in shooting percentage. First in free throw shooting. And they're also ranked number 1 in taking care of the ball. Not many turnovers. They value possessions like no other.
And the shooting is really what stands out to me. This is a team that does such a good job of finding open looks. They're unselfish. They work offensively to create good shots. And when they do that and they're on their game, they're tough to beat.
Shooting for Utah. Tucker. At the line for 2.
And he makes the first. And the Spurs making a change here. So he gets them both. 51 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Roberts passes to Wembanyama. And that one's good. He's got 16.
Good job there, recognizing the mismatch and then just going straight up with the shot. He's got a major height advantage.
Jazz have gone better than 53% from the floor since halftime. Shooting 8 of 15. Back to George. Jazz passing it around. Pass to Edwards. Off target with his 3.
Oh, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide open shot like that right in your wheelhouse.
That's good. And the Spurs lead by 2.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Outside, George. Now the feed to Tucker. And some nice defense there to end the quarter. That concludes the third quarter. It continues to be an exciting neck-and-neck game. Spurs lead by 2. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter.
Coming up Friday, March 1st.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. And for the Spurs, outside, George. It's intercepted. In transition, here comes San Antonio, and it's blocked. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. And a quick look now at how San Antonio's schedule is shaping up. Next up will be a home game matched up against the Pacers. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. And Utah making a change here. Utah trailing here. Here's Clarkson. Offensive rebound. Collins. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
The Spurs shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Utah Jazz. It's off to Oklahoma City for him after this game, so they have the Thunder to look forward to. That's the first of 6 played on the road.
Yeah, no question for the Thunder. That's a game they'd really like to have.
Both free throws good from Roberts. And here's George. Dishes it to Collins. The turnaround Jay. 60 seconds off the clock here in the 4th. Here's Roberts, and a strong finish with 2 hands.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
Clausen defended by Roberts. Deflects the pass. And now Jones running the floor all by himself.
Good aggressive finish on the break.
That's as easy a 2 points as you could ask for.
We're just over a minute and a half now into the 4th. Clausen defended by Roberts. He feeds it to George for 3. Rebound San Antonio. Next up will be a home game matched up against the Pacers. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand.
You know, tired legs can affect you at the defensive end, and I think that's what's happening right here.
I agree, because as much offense as we saw early, we're seeing even more of it here late.
Drains it from beyond the arc.
And that's why teams emphasize the use of screens and picks, just to get you some open looks like that one.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. He wants to make sure they stay assertive and aggressive on the offensive end, saying, I don't want to sit on this lead. Let's build on it and not give them a chance of coming back. Guys?
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
That's a foul called on the Prophet. That's his 5th foul.
That's his 5th personal foul. First team foul.
It's stolen.
Boy, stingy defense there, denying that pass.
Now the pass to Sohan. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. And that's a foul called on the Prophet. That's it for him. He's fouled out of the game.
That could have major consequences, Kevin. With this game still in question, it's really a tough time to lose it.
Goudlock's checked in for San Antonio. So it's Utah now. Here's Clarkson. Knocks down the 3-ball.
They are killing them with that 3-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Passes it to Sohan. Pass out. He passes to Jones. And Goudlock kicks to Jones. Collins grabs the miss. Collins has got 3 rebounds now in this one. To the inside. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
Well, they were sleeping on defense. The defense really didn't do its job. I mean, a little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint. That's costly.
Well, and at this stage of such a tight game, I think this is when tired legs start to show. And the defense can become vulnerable in the low block.
San Antonio making a switch here. Graham's checked in. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the 4th. There's the dish to Jones. Bessel. Back to Jones. Shot clock at 6. Left side, Jones. Again, the miss by Jones. Utah has gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Here's Clarkson. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Looks like he's just trying to shoot his way out of this cold spell, but I don't know about that shot attempt.
Jones, the pass to Wembanyama. Nifty move. Gets the bucket. And the Spurs lead by 3.
All the points these defenders are allowing inside is inexcusable. That's 5 baskets in a row, and they've all been practically lay-ins.
Yeah, they've got to harden and toughen up down there, guys.
Utah calls timeout.
They've been very untidy with the ball here. You commit turnovers when you try to do too much or you force it. They need to focus on making the simple play, good passes, and moving the ball around.
The Spurs making a switch here. And Utah has possession. They trail by 3. On the left block. Cannot hit. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Reina. Vassell. Pass to Sohan. He kicks to Jones. 5 on the clock. Drains the three-pointer. And now a 6-point Spurs lead.
You know, even though he doesn't really have the long-range ability on a consistent level, he can knock down some open ones.
Off his foot, and it's whistled a kick. Spurs making a switch here. On defense, the Spurs. Sexton, defended by Jones. Clock at 6. Launches it. The shot is off. And San Antonio will go the other way with it.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Vassell. Back to Jones. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession.
Now, a severe lack of awareness on his part. He had no idea he was near the out-of-bounds line.
Jazz trail by 6. Marking it, defended by Sohan. The finger roll finish at the back.
He is feeling a terrific percentage from the field.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're leading by 4. 1:56 left in the fourth quarter. .156 left in the fourth. Outside, Jones. And the pass to Sohan. Wembanyama. They set the pick. 5 to shoot. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. That's the first, and that puts them up by 5. Downlots check in for the Spurs. Second one is good. We both at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Good work at the line to stretch that lead out a little bit.
Utah calls timeout. They're losing by 6. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter of this one. 2:36 left in the fourth quarter. Hit his leg, and it's being called a kickball. Here's marking. Wow.
Well, he had just one turnover in the first half, and he's already surpassed that total here in the second.
Here's Champagny. Off the mark here with the three-point shot. Jazz trailed by 6.
And the clock is their worst enemy right now.
And they got to work very quickly here, Steve.
And 1:01 left here in the fourth quarter. A jump up. Tries to bank it in, but he misses. The Spurs have gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the fourth, and even 50%. Sohan passes to Champagny. Drops in the tray. And the Spurs lead by 9.
Time to turn out the lights on this game.
I think they deserve a ton of credit for the way they played here today. Truly a professional display.
Fires for 3. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. Here are the Spurs with the ball. They've outscored them 10 points to 2 during this run. Here's the screen. Bynum, defended by Tucker. Mamukelishvili the pass to Graham. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. 4 on the shot clock.
Shooting San Antonio. Graham. Taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good, and that'll push the lead to double digits. He's off on the free throw and able to get that second one to drop in.
He would have liked them all to go, but that should still be enough to end this thing.
Here's Tucker. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Well, sometimes when you're at a height disadvantage, that's the way to attack. Go right at your defender.
1 shot.
And so it's San Antonio with the win. They came...
You're the league's leading scorer right now. Would you classify yourself as a scorer, or are you a bit surprised to find yourself in that position?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a scorer, but there's definitely a lot more to my game than just that. Putting up points is always going to be recognized ahead of other things, so I think people look at me as a scorer, but it's nice to be recognized for defense or good passing or rebounds, you know? So it's great that I'm the leading scorer right now, but let's translate that to wins, and that'll be the ultimate decider.